Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be speaking on balance, how it will affect you, and why you need to understand the depth behind the word balance. See, it's not a straight down the middle thing. It is very complex when you take a deeper look at what balance truly means. See, life unfolds in phases, and if you are not happy at a given moment, this is a sign that you're out of balance in the bigger picture. And this isn't always bad. See, if we weren't ever out of balance, how would we be able to realize what true balance feels like? So, if you feel internally that your life could be better, it's time to start making changes and adjustments today and to begin working toward that correct baseline homeostasis. First of all, the decision has to be made. Are you going to commit to building the best life that you can possibly create? See, life is a game, and if you don't promise yourself that you will aim at your truest potential, I can't help you. This route of becoming your best self is not for the average Joe. It's not for someone who wants the easy path. But see, the easy path counterintuitively leads you to a horrible life. So we have to bet on ourselves. We have to take the road less traveled if we want a great life in the bigger picture, long run. See, ignorance is bliss, and that line is true in certain situations, but ignorance is also hell. This game of life is deeper than I originally imagined, and it's way deeper than our culture wants us to think. Here's a hint. Society pushes everything that numbs, distracts, and deters you from pursuing your best self. Chew on the reasoning behind why that's the case. And let this be said, there are many beautiful aspects to culture and religion and life. I don't want you to become an extremist who hates society. There is definitely pros and cons to the society that we live in. The first part of personal development involves you opening your eyes to the horrors of the world, being real with yourself. See, history has been filled with torture, starvation, genocide, child slavery, and other events of that nature. And it still occurs today. That's just not what they advertise on the news. But this, I don't want to make you feel negative. This should fuel you to become the best person you possibly can. See, if you have this opportunity to be in America, in a country that is not going through horrible things right now, that is a blessing that must be appreciated. Don't allow yourself to degrade into a corrupt soul who is ungrateful, who is rude, who is completely selfish all the time. See, there's this nuance. You have to be selfish before you can share love, because you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot sell from an empty wagon. So that is the nuance of the idea of selfishness. You do have to really take care of yourself first. We need a deep and powerful reason for aiming high, as the challenges are difficult, and you will have moments of doubt. But with the strong reason, you can persevere. And perseverance is the key to creating the life that you deserve, that you know is possible. So combine knowledge and action. If you're not happy, well, maybe you are happy. Maybe you are exactly where you need to be right now. Either way, balancing our life is a never-ending game, and happiness is a feeling that comes and goes. You need to balance knowledge and action. I see a lot of people fall into this hole of accumulating knowledge and not executing on that information. What's so valuable is to start with this foundation, eating clean and exercising daily. This raises your energy levels, and with high energy, you can use the desires that you have and figure out what you want, where your natural curiosity leads you. But if you don't have energy, you're not going to do anything. So to get good energy, focus on that foundation. And when you feel better, you can see when you're getting out of balance. You can tell when you have accumulated a lot of knowledge and now it's time to execute. This reminds me of the importance of being aware and studying both psychology and physiology. Physiology is how your body works, and psychology is how your mind works. how certain foods affect how you feel, how your dopamine system works, how your circadian rhythm operates, how substances affect your state of consciousness, and so on. There are so many things that we overlook, but these things affect how we feel and the energy that we have, which therefore cycles into the actions we do or do not take. So be willing to dive into different categories of education because there's an infinite amount of things to learn. And trust your natural curiosities. I know it's easier said than done, but betting on yourself and following your gut feel, that has been the best decision I've made in my life. It's so important to get in touch with your intuition. To do this, we have to limit distractions. Travel through the hard path. The secret to growth is making incremental improvements consistently over an extended period of time. So you start off as a blank slate, and then we are programmed from ages 0 to 20. Through time, you adopt habits, beliefs, biases, and many other things within your mind. And some of what you adopt will be healthy, while others will be holding you back and setting you up for a life that you do not want to create. So this is where self-reflection and feeling comes in. You can't improve anything that you don't first notice can be improved. So pay attention to how you feel and ask yourself questions. These questions need to guide you to the root causes of why you feel the way that you do. I'm going to be releasing my course very soon, and the course touches on many important things, but there's one whole section that pertains to asking better questions. And when you ask better questions, you get better answers. So it's important to understand how that works. It can be so painful to admit that your beliefs are not serving you. This had to be one of the toughest things for me to realize. It shatters our ego, and that's the last thing that our ego desires. In this life, it really comes down to this differentiation. Do you serve ego or do you serve truth? We can get so attached to our web of ideas, and this is what most people who live an aimless life do. Challenging our preconceived notions of how reality works is difficult, and school teaches you how to be a great follower, but it deters you from questioning anything. So the phases of life. The cycles of life generally unfold in a span of 5 to 10 years. I'm going to link an amazing video in the description because this will show you how you can understand your past, your present, and where you're going through this framework of phases. So there's a limbo phase where you just don't know what you're doing or what you're supposed to be doing, and this is normal. Eventually, you'll get a hint, a slight push in a direction that involves you getting uncomfortable. You most likely will reject that opportunity the first time, but you'll get another chance, and this time you'll take that chance. Okay, so we're transitioning into the phase where you have a bit of confidence in the route that you want to go, still full of doubt and uncertainty, but you have an idea. This phase is definitely confusing. For me, I went back and forth almost daily within my mind. Do I quit? Do I give up? Or do I continue? It was definitely hard. Well, all I can tell you is I never gave up. And as long as you continue to be persistent and learn and do not quit, you will be rewarded. And there's a big difference between pivoting, building skills, and quitting too soon. Most people have this issue. They think that the mission is going to be quicker and easier. And it's a matter of setting the right expectations, having a 10,000 hour vision. An amazing rule of thumb is to have a purpose that's so powerful that you don't mind putting in those 10,000 hours. But it doesn't have to begin like that. See, my whole journey was so shallow at the beginning. All I wanted was to get rich quick, to smoke weed, and to have a hot girl or hot girls. And that's just a joke. Like, with that being said, that is how my journey started. And you need to persevere because as you persevere, your depth of reasoning that will grow stronger and stronger. And then you will have created this powerful reason that is actually strong enough to keep you inspired. Now we transition into the third phase, which involves your peak. You're starting to recognize that what you're doing is getting results and it feels right. And this feeling is golden because for so long you were aimless and confused. And now it's really time to focus on consistency and that unique balance of life. And as you build up to the peak, you will come across people that you need in your life. As you've already eliminated the people who are holding you back, now remember, the peak is not sustainable. So this has to be at the back of your mind. As you grow and evolve, understand that you will have to create a new vision eventually. And lastly, we have the cycle where everything is starting fresh again. And you feel, before this happens, at the end of the peak, you're starting to feel as if things are getting stale. And this is that initiation of the whole cycle starting again. So you have to involve, you have to be able to detach from your previous mission. Easier said than done, but at least having this information in your mind, this will help you when you notice that this is what phase you're going through. You'll have that knowing, well, it's time for me to create new vision. And this is exactly why our world has seasons, just as our life has seasons. We need to never get complacent and too comfortable. It is a recipe for disaster when we try to make life easy and too comfortable. Humans need adventure. Prioritizing balance is key. So balance is so complex, and only you can figure out the correct path to travel down. The foundation for me lies with a healthy body. The mind and body are so linked, and no healthy body equals foggy mind, which can't understand that it's out of balance. A few domains that everyone needs to balance: spirituality, business, health, social skills, the mind, physiology, and practical hands-on skills. Leave any of these out, and I promise you it will be reflected in the quality of your life. Each area requires time to build, so focus on 1 to 2 of these areas at any given time. Diving deep into education for a few months to years until you feel it's time to make a transition, that's a great idea. And I'm laying out a general framework for you. I mentioned feeling so much because that's what led me to build a life that I love, a life that I'm proud to live. And I don't know the details of your situation, so you're going to have to do the thinking, the pondering yourself. But for anyone who would love to work with me on a deeper, more detailed level, you can schedule a call at justinagliscus.com, and we'll see if I will be able to help you out, because I can only get so much out there in these videos because I have to generalize the information to apply to the averages. But one-on-one, we can really solve the detailed problems that need solutions. To feel, you have to be highly conscious. And this is why I attack the numbing, the distractions so much, because they lower your degree of consciousness. A low conscious mind is void of feeling and cannot even recognize that they're heading down a dark path. Distractions come in so many forms: entertainment, substances, friends, low-level education, and the list goes on. The news. It's just, there's many distractions. And not saying that these things can't be helpful, of course, in the right context. It's so valuable when you understand that you're too deep in something and you recognize, okay, it's time to pivot. It's not a simple thing to recognize that. It takes hyper awareness for you to realign the ship. And most people are not on a hyper aware level of consciousness. But my mission is to help you raise your level of consciousness so you can craft the life of your dreams. It's raised through first building and replacing your poor habits with healthy ones, getting away from the negativity in your environment, and committing to working toward your truest self persistently day by day. So test this out for a week and see how you feel. The biggest shifts in your life will come from consistently making small adjustments over time. You need patience, to be patient, you need to rewire how you think about the journey that you're on. It's not about getting rich quick. Drop that. What it's about is who you become in the process. Really focus more on your everyday growth, recognizing your small incremental improvements rather than thinking about the big picture destination. Because think about a sailor. For 99% of his journey, he does not see the destination. Maybe he knows it, but he does not see it. So you have to have faith in putting in the work and knowing where you're going, even if you don't see that destination. So clean up your nutrition. Look at junk food as poison, because that's what it is. Less instant gratification, more focused work. Work out and train daily, and organize your life. Maybe start with cleaning your room like Jordan Peterson says. Then you can start organizing your drawers, putting your information into folders. Be very precise with how you use your time and what you do each day, what you think about. And one major tip would be just don't pick up your phone in the first 30 minutes of the day, and then figure out what part of the day that you do your most efficient work. For me, it's in the morning. So I wake up super early to allow that to happen. And understand that you need to take breaks throughout your day. Have healthy activities like folding the laundry, going for a nature walk, meditating, taking your dogs out. Take healthy breaks in between your deeper work sessions. Eventually, you'll come to see that the simple things are some of the most important aspects of life. Don't get caught up in the hustle, busy life. See, if you are working really focused for 4 to 6 to 8 hours a day consistently, you are unstoppable. Don't get caught up in that 70-hour hustle work week culture where you're running around rushing everywhere, because stress kills you. So you really want to reduce your stress levels, and this is done through the inner work, through these deeper understandings, through watching a video like this and understanding, well, there's definitely some changes I can make to create a more effortless life, not an easy life, but where you can do hard things in an effortless manner. So I really cannot make balance for you. It has to be learned through your personal experience. But what I do is give you the tools, the structures to make the choices yourself. And most people are so numbed and fogged, so they don't find the lessons from their day-to-day lives. Don't allow yourself to be one of these people. Answer these in a paragraph or more. How do I feel on an hourly basis? And how well do I manage myself? So take some time to reflect upon your answers and aim to get to the root cause behind why you feel a certain way. Don't blame anyone but yourself. It's easier to blame others. So you want to take personal responsibility for your circumstance, for everything. That is a sign that you're heading in the right direction. If the environment is toxic, just create a plan to distance yourself. I hope you enjoyed. If you found this valuable, just share it with a close friend and drop a like. If you have any interesting thoughts, feedback, I'm all ears. Just let me know in the comments, and I appreciate you. If you're on the podcast, go on Spotify, not 5-star, whatever star you think. I want that honest opinion, but wishing you a great day, and, just continue to stack momentum. I appreciate you.